Good. All right. Well, first of all, my name is Master Barb Kunkel, and as an Olympian, I have a passion to teach people the value of an Olympic mindset. And one of my main ways I teach is through taekwondo, and I partner with parents and teachers to empower kids with valuable life skills such as focus and confidence. I help parents instill an Olympic mindset in their children by supporting and guiding them with effective communication and parenting skills, creating a more harmonious family journey. That's what my biggest goal is. And I want children to be able to thrive, and I want parents to be able to see the tangible, positive growth in their kids.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that. And can you share, like, on parts of your journey, like what parts of your journey really taught you about resilience? Because I think that's a key distinction that a lot of people just don't talk about these days.
Yeah. So for me, obviously, as I've spoken to you before, I've had the opportunity to and privileged to go to the Olympic Games. But it didn't start out that I was an automatic Olympian. And I think that's why I want to pass on that Olympic mindset to our young kids. And because when I first started, when I was young, I had this thing, and I went into the living room, and my brother got to do things and my sister didn't. And I kind of sized up the situation and thought, oh man, he's got the better end of the deal. And so I think I became very competitive at a very young age. And with that being said, I used to say, whatever a boy could do, I could do better. And it's not that that was the statement, it was the competitive spirit. And that competitive spirit has gotten me very, very far in life, through a lot of challenges in life. I played basketball, did every sport there was, but chose to pursue basketball. But my first year in college, I blew out my left knee, only to come back the following year to blow out my right knee. And to me, that was a big devastation at first. But I could take it as, wow, I'm a victim, or I could take it as, okay, so what is happening here, and how can I make the best of it? And so I chose to take the latter, and God redirected my life into martial arts. And he redirected it, and I started doing martial arts, and started doing very well. I ended up making our national team, ended up wanting to be out here at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado. And I was one of the first female athletes to come out for taekwondo to live on campus. And I made the team. And not only that, we trained 5 to 6 hours a day, and I made the 96 team too. And we were a demonstration sport in 88, 92. And all of a sudden we got taken out of 1996, and we didn't know. And so obviously in 96, wow, holy cow, what another devastation for me at first. But I chose again, with my experience of the resilience on the last one, to say, hey, what am I going to do with this? Prayed about it with my parents, talked it over with my coach, and decided to make Colorado my home, and decide that my coach and I opened up a taekwondo school. And he thought, hey, let's do this to get your mind off of this big challenge that just happened. And so what it is I took the kind of focus off of me for a little bit and put it on others. And so I think that's part of resilience, is how do you take the focus off of your challenge right in front of you, and you turn around and you put it on somebody or something else. And, I actually put that into with my high schoolers now. Whenever high schoolers like really kind of get the me focus, how do we get them to focus on others and other things? And I actually take the challenges of our high schoolers, and I'm like, all right, well, let's put you in a leadership position. I'm going to teach you how to focus on others. I'm going to teach. And all of a sudden they take their mind off of their own issues, and they're like, hey, how do I be the best coach there is? How do I be the coolest coach there is to these young kids? And it's so great because it helps with resilience. Part of resilience is getting the focus off of your own problem and finding something that you can redirect with. And so God did that for me. Everywhere from my knees. If I wouldn't have blown out my knees, I wouldn't be an Olympian today. If the Olympics wouldn't have been taken out, I don't know what would have happened. I would not be probably in Colorado today. I had planned on going to the Olympics in 96 and then going back to Washington State. But I chose, after the Olympics, I had to go 4 more years. And by investing into the community of Colorado, I didn't want to leave. It became my home. And so what it was I got the focus off of my challenging situation and put it on others. And then I trained like normal. And then in 2000 or 1999, we weren't even supposed to be a full medal sport yet. And in 99, they decided, we're going to make you a full medal sport. 88, 92, demonstration. 96, taken out. And 2000, full medal. Well, our team is made up of 8 men and 8 women. And they dropped it down to 4 men and 4 women because they didn't want one country to dominate. Well, they dropped it down to 2 and 2 because 4 for one country, because Korea is the strongest. And so they dropped it down to a maximum of 2 males and 2 females from every country. But they made it harder than that because you didn't just automatically get those spots. You had to qualify by being the top 2 in the Southern Hemisphere. So North and South America, you had to win a competition and be top 2 within that whole North and South America, or you had to be number 4 within the world. And so it was great because America, we ended up competing in these competitions, and America was one of 6 countries that qualified all 4 spots. And so we qualified those spots. And I'll tell you, it wasn't easy because I remember competing and going through that, and what a crazy, challenging time. And somebody said to us, hey, we know you can do this, but if you don't, there's going to be a lot of angry people in this country. And we're like, holy cow, if there wasn't enough pressure already, can you go stand over there while we do our job? You know? And I'll tell you, it was just incredible to be able to have that pressure, and then added pressure, knowing that we're not just representing us, we're representing our entire country. And if we don't win, our country doesn't go. And and so it's been a challenge, but I will tell you, I remember that last match. It was against Guatemala. And I remember if I won, my country was going. And if she won, her country was going. And I remember in the last 10 seconds that the crowd just yelling 10, 9, 8. And I was up by 1. And I'll tell you, I cut it out for the last time. And I went for one last one to solidify the competition, and I won. And I'll tell you, the place erupted. USA, USA, USA. And it was just incredible. And I turned around and I think my coach jumped 50 feet in the air. Well, maybe not that much, but he got excited too. And the place was erupted because it was a moment that we didn't qualify just us, but it was our country that went. Well, America tries to be as fair as possible. And at that moment, our country, we qualified us, but we didn't we qualified the spot, but we didn't qualify us. And so in that moment, other countries were excited because they were going to the Olympics. But for us, we came back to America, and we now had 4 spots that we had to fight for again. And so everybody in the weight division below me and above me would either lose or gain weight so that we could compete for those 2 spots, 2 males and 2 females. And I will tell you, it was tough. And I remember May 20th of 2000, right here in the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, we had our competition. And I fought against some of my longtime teammates. And I will tell you, at the end of that day, I ended up winning. But it didn't hit me because I'd already been on the teammate times until that night as they handed us our badges. And as they handed us our badges, they said, here you go, Olympians. And we stopped. And I hit my friend. I said, did you hear that? For 8 long years, we've been telling people we're Olympic hopefuls. And we now get to say that word. We are an Olympian. And so our team went on to the Olympics, and we were able to pull back 1 gold medal. But what's cool about that is there's so many things that came through that Olympic mindset, whether it's resilience, whether it's the 4 Ds of a champion. And that's what I teach now, is I teach those 4 Ds of a champion: desire, discipline, dedication, and determination. And the reason I teach those 4 Ds, because I feel like the Olympic mindset is gathered into those 4 Ds. So many people live day to day, and desire is having a goal versus just a dream. A dream is what you hope for, and a goal is what you plan for. And so many people dream in life, and I love people that dream. But if you always dream, you're not going to accomplish goals very fast. So you have to be able to, how do I have that goal? How do I have something to look forward to, and not just short term? But you have to build your mindset, because many people have a dream and they stop, and they go, and they have to understand there's valleys and roads. All of us know that we go through these. And so if you know they exist, it's so much easier. And then that second one is that discipline. Discipline is living by facts, not feelings. And so many people in life, like I said, they expect everything to just go straight up. But if you know and you discipline yourself to, hey, I'm going to have a high, but I might have a challenge. I might have a high and I might have a challenge. And if you know these things are going to happen in life, you can get through them so much faster. And so with that discipline is, I don't always feel like getting up in the morning, but I did it because I have teammates and coaches that are counting on me. You probably get up in the morning because you have a family, and you may rather spend time with your kids and your family. However, the fact is, you want them to have a good home. You want them to have a good education. You want them to have things like that. And therefore, you do things that you don't always feel like doing. And that's where our society is at. They do it, they don't feel like it, but they want to give people next to them, the next generation, a better life. And then our dedication. Dedication to me equals resources. Whether we dedicate our time, whether we dedicate our effort, or whether we dedicate our money, or whether we dedicate all three, I think dedication is that time. Things that you dedicate your resources to are valuable. And when your resources, whether it's your time, your effort, or money, are not dedicated to it, it becomes less valuable. And then the last one is that determination. I'm a huge believer that it's not if, it's when. It's not if challenges happen to us in life, it's when they happen. And it's how we deal with those challenges that's going to make or break us. My whole life has had challenges all the way through, whether it be through my knees, whether it be taken out of that moment in taekwondo, whether it be having stage 3 breast cancer, whether it be, losing opportunities and having a challenge in with my business, and possibly being sued for wrongfully for different things, or just different, And so to me, there's all these challenges in life. And I'll tell you, it's so cool, because if you could take your challenges and figure out, this is just a setback. It's a goal for me to be set up one step back, to be catapulted forward, because our military, when they go into battle, that's when their biggest growth is. When we go into battle, when our challenges in our daily lives, whether it's your business, whether it's family, whether it's training, fitness, whatever it is, we all have these challenges in life. And if we can figure out how to not take them as just a setback, but take them as a setback to a catapult forward, we're going to be able to go very far in life with a lot of things. So that's my 4D summed up a little bit in the champion mindset, that how do I pass on that resilience to our young people, to our parents, and to our adults that are in the corporate world or moving on, that still need to not just live day to day, but how can I help them reignite purpose in their own lives, and not just, do that, but purpose in their own lives.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Like, you seriously crushed all the questions. That's totally amazing. That's what happens when you're a master.
You're so kind. You're so kind. You know what, though? It's a passion. It's when I mean, just like when I talked to you the other day, you could hear your passion with what you love to do. And it's so fun. You are who you hang out with. I'm a huge believer in you are who you hang out with. And so when you find other people that are passionate about what they do, man, we just connect with each other and we catapult each other even farther forward from where we're at. And if we're passionate about something, if we really believe in it, then hopefully we can help others grab that passion and maybe whether it's grab it and run or reignite it in the ones that have kind of forgot and need to be reminded.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. And that's why when you saw me like this, you were like, what is like, that's my power up right there. It's me. Cause I feel like I'm the enlightener. Like that's my mind's eye. I want to be able to illuminate and inspire. I don't come from like, wealth. I just do my best. Like you said, and as a Marine, that was one of the things to your point. That's what we trained on was like getting ready. We're forcing readiness because when that happens, what do you do? It's straight up.
Well, thank you for your service too. That's awesome. I'm very patriotic because of the Olympics, but it's nowhere close to what you guys have gone through. But I am so appreciative for what all you guys do for us so that we can represent our country in the Olympics, so that we can have the freedoms that we have. And I'll tell you this, I'm somebody that really doesn't ever take that for granted. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. I definitely want to ask you a question because I don't have the taekwondo part. So how has taekwondo like actually enhanced and infused with your leadership?
I'll tell you this, man, I really wish everybody had the opportunity to take martial arts, whether it's taekwondo, karate, or whatever. I did both taekwondo and karate, but the reason why is because, one, what it does for our physical body as it is, and I know a lot of people get fitness, and it's great, but I love that martial arts creates a community. Whether you're my students are everywhere from 4 to 74, and whether it creates that community so that, hey, I don't feel like doing it today, but my friend's there. Or my parents are there, or my kids are there. And I just think it really creates that community that so many of us in America, and not just America, but in life, are longing for. How do we create that sense of community that we're bigger than just our families? How do we create that? So I just think that that's a great opportunity. I really feel that martial arts also offers a sense of just love for life, and appreciation for life, whether that's respecting ourselves, because that's what we teach. We even teach kids, you have to respect yourself before you can even respect your parents. And so it teaches a respect for yourself and a focus and a confidence in yourself that if you are focused and you're confident in yourself, it's so much easier to share it with others. And we can affect our community one family and one person at a time. Because if we can help them improve their focus and confidence and feel stronger safely, then guess what? They're going to affect the person next door to them or their neighbor or their child or their mom or their dad. And my hope is that our community will be a better place because martial arts has affected your life with your focus and confidence. And then the last thing is just, between the camaraderie and that is the safety. With our DNAs, it's unfortunate. We all have insurance, not because we want it, but it's for those accidents that might happen. And so the thing that I love about the martial arts is it's insurance. And so we don't want you to ever have to use your self-defense. We don't want you to have to use that all the time. But that's why we teach safety awareness first and self-defense after we teach safety awareness. And we do that because we want you to have insurance. And so if people go through life and they're walking or they're doing something, they're traveling, and they have just a little bit of that safety awareness and then self-defense to back it up in case something ever does happen, you know what? That's powerful. And it gives you another confidence, another layer of confidence that you can go places safer. and you can take care of your family more safe. And so I just think that martial arts offers so much to people in life, more than just the kicking and punching.
Wow. And that I definitely appreciate you saying that, because that led into my next question, because I know you had mentioned you had your battle with cancer. How has your mind's eye, everything that you've done, all the challenges, all the beliefs, all the endurance, all the support, everything, how did that manifest against that battle specifically?
You know what? I'll tell you first, I love telling this story. And the reason why is because as an Olympian, I get a platform to talk to people about Olympic mindset. But as a stage 3 cancer survivor, of somebody who ate so well, of somebody who trained 5 to 6 hours a day, that did all this, cancer doesn't care who you are. It doesn't. But how we handle cancer does. And so when I was first told of my cancer, somebody said to me, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I got bad news for you." I'm a very positive person. And so at first I didn't think about it, but then after just a little bit, I was like, holy cow, bad news. And I thought, you know what? After that, then they gave me this thing that says, this is your condolence bag. And I was like, wait a second. And I thought maybe God gave me cancer because I was going to help people with their wording. Don't tell me I have bad news. Just tell me I have news. Let me make the decision whether it's good or bad. Don't say condolence bag. This is your journey bag. And so I thought that I was going to get the opportunity to just have, talk to doctors and nurses and just kind of redirect their words. And I did get that opportunity, just so you know. But then later on, something happened. And in our taekwondo, there was a lot of people that were like this. And during my cancer, so many of them that didn't like each other came together and helped me, because cancer is expensive. And they helped me put on a tournament to raise money to pay for my cancer. And I thought, oh God, maybe that's why you gave me cancer. Maybe it was to unite these people. And another one, maybe it was to unite my family. And I kept thinking, why did I get it? And I think because of the Olympic past, I had learned to not take my challenge as a negative thing, but how can I use this to catapult? And so I kept thinking that God was using me as a vehicle, somebody that was so healthy, that was so this and that, but he was using me as a vehicle for this. And I had just 1 month prior adopted 2 children. So a month after the adoption is when I found this out. So I thought God gave me these 2 kids to help me get through this, even give me something, a why, a reason to fight, and so there's just all these incredible things that are going on. And when I would go to, first I started off with radiation, and then I did chemo, and then I did radiation again. And then I had to do, because it went, it was, they were very concerned, and they just catapulted me through. And when my friend came with me, she was incredible. She was my caretaker. And now I get to coach people who have either had cancer and their caretakers on how to get through it. And I also get to work with the caretakers, because my friend was so incredible, but caretakers need a caretaker too. And she had her husband to talk to, but she was able to help me through mine as a single mom. She helped me through mine, and we moved in with a family with 4 boys, and I had my 2 kids and me. And the dad just really helped with my kids, and the mom helped me through all this craziness. And I remember when we went to chemo, we would sometimes laugh, and chemo's not a happy place. And I'm a positive person, and people would say, we want to come on your days. What days do you guys come on? Because we would bring a sense of happiness to something that could be so fearful. But I will tell you, it wasn't always like that, because there's pain and there's hardship. And I will tell you a day that I wanted to give up. I was done. And we were at the chemo. And I told my friend, I says, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be done. And God put this incredible lady in my path that day. And she was 26 years old and she had cancer. And she had a 7-year-old girl. And her fiance was next to her and so was her dad. And my friend said, hey, what's up with your nails? They're so beautiful. And this girl said, I'm getting married. And my fiance is right here and here's my dad. And I said, do you mind if I ask, what's your cancer? And she said, I have pancreatic cancer. I was supposed to die 2 years ago, and I'm still here. But I have to do this every day of my life. But I'm determined to watch my 7-year-old daughter grow up. And it was then that God showed me that I have to fight. He knew that I'm a positive person, but you still go through these challenges. And again, that's why I say, get your focus off of yourself and find somebody that you can help. And God did that for me that day. And it reignited my fight that I was going to fight. And I'll tell you, plan A, and I tell all these people that have cancer or have any challenging disease, plan A is I'm going to fight. But everybody's like, but what about the one that doesn't? Plan B is I made a will. Because if God did decide to take me, I would make sure that people around me were taken care of. And through taekwondo, just so you know, our team, I was inspiring in the Olympics. But when I adopted my kids, we started a demonstration team. And we created this. We took my cancer and we created a cancer routine. And we took it to the world. We won a silver medal in the world with it. And it's very hard because you have to figure it out because it's such a sensitive issue. But I used my taekwondo to tell a story that sometimes God heals you on earth and sometimes he heals you in heaven. You get healed, but you get healed in one of the other places. And when we did this for our state championships in Colorado, there was a lot of crying because people knew that the year before I had cancer and God healed me on earth. But I did have a mom come up to me and said, I have cancer and God healed me here. But my 10-year-old son had cancer and he died. She goes, but after watching your program, I feel like my son is up in heaven and he is doing gymnastics and taekwondo in heaven. And I feel so much more at ease because I got to see your program. God has used my knees, my challenges to get me in taekwondo, to get me to be able to have a platform to affect not just regular lives, but people's lives that have been challenged with a big disease or challenge in life. And my third area that I get to talk to people on is adoption. Because I raised in a single parent. I raised these incredible kids. God didn't give me my own kids, but I got to invest in so many others. Whether it be my 15-year-old nephew that came to live with me for a week that turned into 7 years. Whether it be my 13-year-old niece, or there be these two incredible kids that I got the privilege of adopting and calling my own. And now I got them at 4 and 5. And now one is in college and he's making such an impact. And he, as an adoption, told me, he said, Mom, 85% of kids that get adopted either end up on drugs or on the streets. I just want to say thank you that Esther and I did not end up like that. Thanks for investing in us so that we could have something. And he's in college now. My daughter's getting ready to graduate. And for me, holy cow, for him to not be a victim, I feel that that's one of the things that I feel blessed as a mom, that I'm teaching my child. And his job is, he knows now he wants to invest in either foster kids or just help people because he knows somebody helped him. And so I just feel blessed because I took his 4 foster kids as well, and their lives were affected in a positive way, including their mom and dad. I get to teach taekwondo, and on a daily basis, I get to see a child that has ADHD come to focus. I get to see somebody that is shy become a leader. I get to see somebody who might stutter speak so confidently. I get to see adults that only focus on their children and forget themselves reignite a passion of a family. I get to see teenagers that struggle with communication with their parents improve that relationship and get along. I feel like I got the best job in the world. And I feel like when I get the opportunity to speak to people like you, my hope is that I get to affect a lot more lives, that people can see out in our country that sometimes struggles with finding hope, that they can see that God has used me in so many challenging situations. There is hope for all of us.
Wow. You've definitely given me hope again. And I really appreciate that. And I honor it. Thank you so much for your service. Definitely, that was my challenge as well with my wife. She nearly died several times. And I had to drop everything too. So I know what that's like. And you spot on. The caretakers need a caretaker. The first thing and it was the first time in that hospital's history where the lights, everything went completely black, and it was so hard to get her procedure done. And the first word that came out of her mouth was, "Daddy, am I going to die?" And that was the first time I felt like I was unprepared. So what you're saying is just, this is going out to 8 billion people, because they need to understand, like, that's what this mind's eye is about. There's a lot of parallels and key distinctions, and you're hitting all the notes of like how to change, how turn those challenges into opportunities, how to take that adversity and turn it into a triumph. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for what you do.
Well, first of all, I just want to say congratulations to where has she been cured?
Yeah, she had a very rare condition that was even more rarer than the rare condition that she had. She had a condition known as supraventricular tachycardia, and hers was even more interesting. She had an extra flap in her heart, but what made hers even more interesting was the way that the flap was folded. They don't teach how to look at that when all the heart doctors go into the practice. It's one of the first things they teach, but not that specific one, because her condition went with the blood flow, not against it. So it's usually easier to see it the first time around with the plumber and the electrician. Like, I had to learn everything about the heart. She speaks 3 different languages. So by the time it comes to English, even though it sounds perfect like me, because I was trained to speak like this, just like her, she has to bounce it away 3 different times in her head. So I had to stop traveling. I had to get off the road. And I'm like, look, there's no issue. Like, I'm dropping everything because she's my earth angel. And yesterday was the first day where the gentleman who I talked to at my country club at that time, we went back there, and it was the happiest picture I ever took of her. And I just posted it just yesterday because it's just pure radiance.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you definitely. It was just full circle. And yeah, so thank you for really, I mean, you're way more articulate than I am at this.
Oh, no, no, no. You know what, Fred? You know, the emotion of people don't realize the hardship of a caretaker because for me, I was going through it. And so I felt like I could fight. But when you're the caretaker, you sometimes feel helpless because you just want to fight the battle for them. And so whether it's your child, whether it's your wife, whether it's your family member, you wish you could fight for them and you want to get in the ring instead of them. But God has you where you're at for a reason. But you're so right. The caretaker needs a caretaker because you're there for her. But you don't want to tell her your challenges because you need to, how do I be positive around her? But you need to find a friend. You need to find a friend. How can I talk to somebody? Because how can I be positive for her? But I need to be able to get my challenges out. I need to be able to talk to somebody. And so if you don't have one yet, sir, I'm going to tell you, find somebody that you can just connect with and you could just share that part of your life with, because you'll be a even better caretaker when you can also download as well.
Yeah, spot on. And that's that path to your point that I had to develop. So thank you so much for really bringing that to light, because I think there's a lot of caretakers who didn't even realize that they probably were caretakers until this conversation.
Right. Yes. And I know it's parents realize when they're taking care of a child, when they're taking care of anybody, you just wish you could fight for them. And sometimes you just feel so helpless. And the best thing you can do is, how do I find somebody that I can lean on? Because then it makes you go in more with clarity when you do get to help. So awesome job and congratulations. I can't wait to see that radiant picture.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as we're done, I'll send it out to you. And that's what leads me to my final question for you. Like, you're so genius. Thank you for just showing up the way that you do to the planet. Oh my God. This is so amazing. What do you see as far as like future projects and endeavors and things that you're doing? Because I know like you're like this fireball. Like how, like, please tell us the next steps, what you're seeing, what you're envisioning, all of the details, please.
Well, I have about 3 main things on my plate. And one of the main things is my taekwondo business. It's awesome on one side, but I'm systemizing the business side of it so that I could create opportunities for others, that they don't have to go through all the struggles that I have. So I'm systemizing it to a point so that somebody can take over. I'll still be involved, but that way they can take over and others can have this same incredible entrepreneurial opportunity that I've had. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to affect a community. It's a great place for a lot of things. So I'm trying to systemize that so that I can allow others to have what I've had and affect our community in a positive way, and their families. The second thing that I have on my plate is my team is going to World Championships this year. And it's kind of my last big one that I'm pushing towards. And so we're training really hard to go to the World Championships in Korea. And so I really want to help them just have this incredible opportunity. I've traveled the world, 36 countries, and I would love them to kind of get a taste of that. All my other teams that have done well and I've taken them across, they're making a difference. And I really feel that some of these trips make that difference. And last year, I haven't had a team since COVID. And last year I started my team up again. And to get them on the mindset page that I wanted, we went and did a mission trip in Mexico, because I wanted them not just to focus on the competition, but how do you focus on taking what talent you've been given and using it for others? And so we did a mission trip to get their mindset to focus on life for others. and how you use your talent for that. And to me, I think that's important because then when you take an athlete internationally, they have the heart of service and not the heart of me, me, me. And so that's what I would kind of wanted there. And then the third thing is I'm working on, I used to speak a lot and then just kind of focus on other things. And now I am focusing on, I want to get on TED Talks. And that's one of my biggest goals in life is get on TED Talks. So I got to get my speeches down to 18 minutes or 20 minutes. So I'm working on that right now. And then just being able to travel the world, hopefully giving this message because I feel like I'm making a big difference in my community. But I think if I can speak to people, my hope is that I can give that message to the world and bring hope to a world, not just to others. I'm so blessed. And I always tell my students, it's not about the gold medal. Let me tell you how you win a gold medal. When you go out there and the audience cries, that's your gold medal. Because that means you helped somebody today. And with all of our taekwondo, we turn them all into stories. And I always tell them, your gold medal is not the thing that goes around your neck, but it's if you got somebody in that audience to cry. And I love that my team comes up to me and says, hey, coach, we got a gold medal today. Let me tell you what this lady said to me. Coach, this. And I love it. So I'm going to tell you, sir, I feel that I got my gold medal today because I had the privilege of affecting your life today. And that's my gold medal.
Well, thank you for your kindness. That's totally amazing. I receive that 100%. You're just a powerhouse, and I'm honored and thankful to be talking to you. And I'm going to plaster your contact info all over, but is there any particular way that you want people to really reach out and talk to you?
I haven't really worked on it. I have a barbkunkel.com website that has some videos on it and has some information on it. I hadn't touched it for a while because I had focused on the business side and on my kids because my kids are graduating. I don't want to miss their graduations and stuff like that. But my daughter's graduating and getting off to college next year. So my goal for next year is to be able to really up-level that. And I'm going to move forward with not just those, but I'm going to have workshops on Olympic mindset, parenting Olympic mindset, child Olympic mindset, and how can we help our kids understand that through all these challenges that we're hearing on the news and through all these things that are going on in the news, how can we help our kids sift through all that and find hope? How can we help our parents sift through all those parenting challenges and find hope? And so that's my goal for next year. And this year is my preparation to do that full time for next year.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on Mind's Eye Podcast. As you know, as you see, this is where we just want to unpack and help people understand. And thank you for bringing the epic Olympic version to the Mind's Eye Podcast. I really sincerely appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Fred, I'm going to tell you, best wishes. Please let her know I'm looking forward to that radiant picture as well.
All right, 100%. And I'm signing off, y'all. And please stand by, Master, and we will chat with you soon. Thank you so much.